Moving into the dollar, again, I was talking about stocks there that don't make sense. Excuse me, the Australian dollar doesn't make sense. The Australian economy is the best performing economy in the world right now. The government is in a surplus, the economy is growing, unemployment is at a low level, our minerals are being sold, everything is going perfectly well, except for our dollar. Somehow, our dollar has gone from a high of 75.8 a couple of years ago down to 64 cents, and it touched down at 62 at a various stage. That does not make sense. Now, when you consider the US dollar, which is strengthening, is on the back of a very weak economy that they can't decide whether it will or won't go in a recession. Personally, I don't think it will. But there is a $1.7 trillion deficit in the US federal government budget. That's bigger than the entire Australian GDP. And no one's doing anything about it. And we've just seen again another big debacle in the US, our government, choosing whether they could increase the borrowing limits, and then it got rid of the Speaker of the House. It's a mess, that political system. And Donald Trump may well be back re-elected as president, and maybe doing it instead of the White House, he might do it from the jailhouse. That's how crazy the American system is. Yet their dollar is strengthening. Now, to me, this does not make sense fundamentally, and therefore I do not accept it as a genuine trend. It may well be that if you have a lot of US dollars and you're worried about the US economy, the best thing to do is to talk it up and then get out of your positions. Pass those positions to the other little people like us by telling them, oh, you need to buy what I am selling. And I think that's probably more what's going on. I would be getting out of US stocks to buy Australian stocks because their dividend is higher and their profits are getting better and better, and the economy is safe and reliable. Maybe that's what's happening. It's not that the Australian dollar is weak, but there's opportunism to make it weak so that I can acquire quality assets. But to me, this is not sensible. As a result, my second prediction on currency, I'm going to hold the line that I've held for the last few years, and I'm going to go on record again saying 70 to 75 cents is what I personally believe the dollar Australian should be against the US. Now, we're a long way from that mark right now at 64 cents, so there's some work to do to get back to 70, but I genuinely believe the Australian dollar is undervalued, and it's a fantastic time potentially to send money home, buy some quality assets at a reduced rate on the exchange. Where this is going to be very, very fantastic for people is the migrants. Heaps of migrants are arriving with their foreign currency right now, and they're getting even better bang for buck than they were expecting. Now, again, you think if they've got this much migration in Australia, that the demand for Australian dollars would be strengthening it. So it does not make sense. So my prediction for currency, 70 to 75 cents once again. Let's see how that goes over the next 12 months.